Welcome all to Movement Yoga Flow. My name is Mark Cormier. I'll be practicing with Kathy Cormier this morning. If you'd like to see anything specifically, please put it in the comment section. And if I see your name pop up, I'll give you a welcome. So please watch our live yoga class here on Veterans Day. Are you ready, Kathy? Come on up. All right.
Good morning.
Good morning. Posture. Posture's important.
Posture, yes. Posture and hydration.
Hydration. Okay, you have a glass of water?
Actually, I don't, but that's okay.
Okay.
I already had one, so
All right.
it's more just hydrating.
Maybe I'll grab your water halfway in.
Oh, you're sweet, thanks.
All right, so hands find the hips. Let's march it from side to side. Give it a little kick. And now ground it through both feet, rocking it side to side. And then steadying that rock as we move towards center. From here, lifting heels, lifting toes. Notice how this engages your low belly. Keep your balance. And then grounded through the toes, grounded through the heels, rocking it front to back. And then finding your center. From here, either keeping your feet wide or narrowing your stance to challenge your balance. The tightest you go would be feet together. If you can get any tighter than that. Having said that, feel free to stay a bit wider. And that can change throughout the practice. From our feet, finding our legs. From our legs, finding our spine. Long through all sides of the neck with a soft tuck of the chin. I'll invite you to bring your hands to your heart. A light press of your thumb against your sternum as you line up each finger. Starting our practice this morning, watching as our breath flows in. And watching as our breath flows out. From a place of just watching your breath, I'll invite you to shape your breath as you find a long, slow breath in. Followed by a long, slow breath out. As you breathe in, I'll invite you to expand your breath, bringing it to the top of your chest, the base of your belly, filling up each side waist, filling up both front and back planes of your body. As you breathe out, I'll invite you to engage your core as you draw the low belly in and up, concurrently lifting the kidneys in and up, squeezing a little more air out, most importantly with that core engagement on the exhalation, providing structural support for your low back as we move through these shapes and sequences. The inhale takes care of itself. To this deeper, fuller breath, moving towards the Ujjayi breath, a go-to breath in many flow practices. A slight constriction to the base of your throat, adding a slight sound and feel to your breath. As we flow through our practice this morning, letting this slight sound and feel be a focus for your practice, the sound of which often compared to the sounds of the ocean as the waves wash in and out. Now taking the tip of your tongue to the hard palate just behind your teeth. Keeping that tongue loop throughout the practice. Relaxing your jaw and connecting front and back planes of your body. And finally, with your lips closed, adding a slight smile to your face. A Mona Lisa smile. Opening up the front of your throat so your breath has lots of room to circulate, refresh, and revitalize. Keeping all this, lifting the chin tall through the crown. I'll invite you to roll your hands open as you bring your hands by your side. Sun Salutation A, we'll take it in 3 pieces, starting with arms and shoulders. Inhaling arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling arms back down. 2 more times like this. Inhaling arms up. Exhaling arms down. Inhaling arms up. Exhaling arms down. Adding a forward fold and a back bend. Inhaling, arms up. On the exhale, leading with the heart as you fold. Take a breath to arc the back, lifting chin and tail. Feel that stretch in your hamstrings. On the exhale, rounding the spine, strong tuck of the chin. Feel the stretch in your low back. On the inhale, finding your neutral spine, back of the head in line with the sacrum, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. 2 more times like this. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling, leading with the heart as you fold. Take a breath to arc the back. Exhaling, arching the spine. Strong tuck of the chin as we fold again. Inhaling, finding your neutral spine, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. 1 more to go here. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to arc the back. And now arching the spine as you fold again. Inhaling, finding your neutral spine, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. Sun salutation A. I'll ask you to go sideways, Kathy. The front of the frame is that front prick, just so you know. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to arc the back. Now arching the spine and then grounding down and finding your down dog as you step 1 foot back and then the other. As we hold this down dog, I'll invite you to walk your dog as you bend 1 leg deeply and then the other. Grounding down to the opposite heel. Stretching your body out. How does it feel this morning? What feels tight? What feels right? What feels somewhere in between? From this place of movement, moving back towards relative stillness. Long arms, long legs, long spine, deep, full breath. Despite this lack of overt movement, you're still breathing, your heart's still beating, your mind's still moving. And by focusing on your breath as it flows in and out, finding a little more space between each breath, each beat of the heart, each thought, and breathing into that space. Long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending your knees ever so slightly as you lift your tailbone just a little bit higher, finding a little more space in your low back. And then looking between the hands as you either step or jump in front. Take a breath to arc the back when you arrive, lifting chin and tail, stretching out those hamstrings. On the exhale, riding the spine as you fold, strong tuck of the chin as you stretch out your low back. Inhaling, finding your neutral spine, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. Second one, much like the first, this time I'll ask you to find vinyasa. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, finding a forward fold. Take a breath to arc. On the exhale, arching, this time keeping the elbows soft as you find the top of a push-up. Finding that push-up, exhaling. Inhaling into a back bend, be it cobra or up dog, depending on whether the hips lift up or not. And then back over the toes. You could always use the knees to find your down dog. And holding that for 3 to 5 long, slow breaths. As we hold down dog, I'll invite you to put your attention into your hands. Lots of strength in the hands, helping support those wrists. Lots of space between each finger, pressing down through the base of the fingers as you draw the center of the palm up towards the shoulders. Shoulders engaged, long through all sides of the neck as you look back towards your navel. Long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending your knees ever so slightly, lifting the tailbone just a little bit higher, and then looking between the hands, and either stepping or maybe jumping in front. Take a breath to arc the back when you arrive. Arching the spine as we fold again. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhaling, standing tall. Let's do one more sun sal. We'll throw a plank into the mix. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to arc the back. Now arching the spine as we fold again. And elbows soft as you set the top of a push-up. Finding that push-up. Finding your back bend. And then back to down dog as you will. Take your time. Find your flow. Follow your breath. At home, feel free to hold your down dog. Here in this room, I'll invite Kathy to come forward to plank pose. Feeling that connection between head, hips, and heels. Connecting with a line of strength running from the crown of the head, through the neck, the torso, the legs, Achilles tendons, and back through those heels. Shoulders super, super, super engaged. Despite the effort of the action, still finding an easeful quality to your breath. Long, smooth breaths in. Equally long, smooth breaths out. Long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, navel to spine, core engaged as we lift the hips high. Coming back to down dog for another couple of breaths. Long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending your knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher. And then looking between the hands as you step or jump at front. Take a breath to arc the back. Exhaling, arching the spine as we fold. Inhaling, finding your neutral spine, arms out to the side, and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. Sun Salutation B, flow style. I've added an extra breath to the opening sequence. Inhaling, tall spine. Exhaling, keeping tall spine, finding your chair. Inhale and hold. Exhale, go lower. Inhale, rising on up, a back bend at the top. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to arc the back. And then arching the spine as you fold again. And making your way to down dog as you will. And you always have the choice whether to find the vinyasa or not, depending on where your energy is, where your mood is. Always listening to your body, and most importantly, respecting what your body has to say. From down dog, flow style. Feet together, right leg high for the three-legged dog. High on the left toes as we stretch out Achilles tendon and calf. And then looking between the hands, pitching that leg even higher, feeling that glute engage. And then sweeping that right foot through, spinning the left heel down, finding your balance. Hands can always find the hips. And then out to the side, and up and over the head for Warrior One. From Warrior One, spinning the palms out, spinning back heel up as we come back to our low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will, either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. Yogi's choice. From down dog, I'll cue the second side. Feet together, left leg high, high on the right toes, stretching out Achilles tendon and calf. And then looking between the hands, pitching that leg even higher, feel that glute engage. And then sweeping that foot through, landing it lightly as we spin the back heel down. Arms out to the side, and then overhead, Warrior One. And then on your next exhale, spinning the palms out, finding low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. Again, always taking your time, finding your flow. You always gather in down dog. There's plenty of time to get there. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending your knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher. And then looking between the hands as you either step or take a jump front. Take a breath to find length, arcing the back. Exhaling, arching the spine as we fold. On the inhale, stay low, knees over toes, hands over head, chair. Exhaling, taking it lower, finding more strength in your legs. On the inhale, rising on up, finding a back bend at the top. On the exhale, hands by your side, neutral spine. Let's do one more sun sal B. We'll throw a dragon dog into the mix. Inhaling, tall spine. Exhaling, finding your chair. Inhale and hold. Exhale, go lower. Inhale, rising on up, open heart, open throat. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to create length, arcing the back. Now arching the spine as you ground on down and making your way back to down dog as you will. Take your time, find your flow. Feet together, right leg high, high on the left toes. At home, you can stay here for a few rests. For the purposes of this room, finding a dragon dog, exhaling knee to nose to knee, shoulders over wrists. And inhale, back leg long. 2 more times. Exhale it forward. Inhale it up. Exhale it forward and hold. And then lots of core engagement on that next exhalation, navel to spine as you step that foot front. Spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead. And then riding the exhale back to low lunge, and from low lunge back to down dog as you will. Second side. Feet together, left leg high, high on the right toes. Either hanging out here for a number of breaths, or exhaling knee to nose to knee, shoulders over wrists, dragon dog. And then inhale it back up. 2 more times. Exhale it forward. Inhale it up. Exhale it forward and hold for the inhalation. And then navel to spine as you step that foot front, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead. Warrior 1. And then spinning the palms out, finding your low lunge, and from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. As we hold down dog, coming back to an even breath. Long, smooth breaths in. Equally long, smooth breaths out. Tail end of that breath. For your next breath, bending the knees ever so slightly, lifting the tailbone just a little bit higher. And then looking between the hands as you step or jump at the front. Take a breath to create length, arcing the back. Exhaling, arching the spine as you fold. Inhaling, finding your neutral spine, knees over toes, hands over head, chair. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhale, rising on up. On the exhale, neutral spine. Hands by your side. I'll ask you to face camera, Kathy. Hands find the heart. A light press of your thumb against your sternum as you line up each finger. Relax shoulders, a soft tuck of the chin. Watching as our breath flows in. And watching as our breath flows out. Lifting the chin tall through the crown. I'll invite you to roll your hands over as you bring your hands by your side. Hands find the hips. If your feet are already hip width apart, no need to do anything. Otherwise, stepping or jumping your feet hip width apart. Letting an inhale grow the shoulders up, around, back, and down. Open heart, open throat. Hinging at the hips, leading with the heart as we fold. Softening the knees enough so peace sign fingers can catch the big toes. Take a breath to arc the back. And then arching the spine as we fold and hold. As we hold fingers to big toe pose, I'll invite you to gently rock your body weight front to back, back to front. Waking up those hamstrings. And then letting a little more weight collect in the toes. Staying grounded through the heels, lifting the hips higher and folding a little deeper. As we connect with our center of balance, 3 fingers below the navel. And breathing into that place.
Turning fingers to big toe pose, into hands under feet pose. Take a breath to arc the back. And now arching the spine as we bring our palms under the soles of our feet. And then stepping on our hands as we stretch out our wrists and our forearms. As we hold hands under feet pose, rocking your body weight front to back, back to front, waking up those hamstrings. And then letting a little more weight collect in the toes, grounded through the heels, lifting the hips higher, and folding a little deeper. Now bringing left hand off to the left, right hand under left foot, and stepping on right hand as we stretch out right shoulder and hip. Now bending right knee any amount as we step on the hand harder. Straightening right leg, bending left leg as we step on the floor harder. 2 straight legs, right hand off to the right, left hand under right foot, and stepping on left hand as we stretch out left shoulder and hip. Now bending left leg any amount as we step on the hand harder. Straightening left leg, bending right leg as we step on the floor harder. 2 relatively straight legs, 2 hands find the floor. Stay here. I'm going to invite you to circle your hips any amount. Now taking those hip circles the other way. And then back to center. Let's do one more thing here. Bending the left knee and circling the right hip any amount. Taking those circles the other way. Back to center. Now bending the right knee and circling the left hip any amount. And taking those circles the other way. Back to center, 2 relatively straight legs. I'll invite you to set your neutral spine as you inhale, hands to hips. Exhale and hold. And keeping neutral spine, inhaling up, hinging at the hips. And then either stepping or jumping your feet closer. Sun salutation C, standing pose sequence. Again, I'll ask you to go sideways. Inhaling tall spine. Exhaling chair. Inhale and hold. Exhale, go lower. Inhale, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to arc the back. Now arching the spine as you fold again and making your way back to down dog as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. Your choice. And let's see who's here. Welcome, Grace. Welcome, Noella. Welcome, Catherine. So we'll add on to that dragon dog. Feet together, right leg high, high on the left toes. At home, free to stay here. For the purposes of this room, exhaling right knee to right elbow, maybe give it a tap, maybe not. And then back up. Now bringing right knee to left elbow, maybe give it a tap, maybe not. And then back up. Now bringing that knee center and holding for the inhalation. And then lots of core engagement as you step that foot front, spinning the back heel down. Arms out to the side and then overhead. Hands can always find the hips as you find your balance. Warrior One. In Warrior One, I'll invite you to bring hands back to your hips. This is your chance to adjust your stance. You could go shorter, you could go longer, you could stay right here. You want to make sure you're balanced between your effort and your ease. Solid and stable, but also getting some stretch in your legs. With our hands on our hips, we can steer our hips front. Thumbs find the shoulders, fingers relaxed. Yeah, with those fingers dangled. Yeah, there you go. From here, rolling one shoulder front and then the other. Take your time. Feel the motion. And then taking those circles the other way. Now steering heart front and center and letting those shoulders relax onto your ribs. Finding a clasp of the fingers behind the back of your head. Pressing your head hard into your hands open, heart open, throat. Elbows wide to the side. Keeping that, I'll invite you to stretch your hands high back to Warrior One. From here, gathering up the flow, straightening the front leg without locking the knee as we gather up the energy. Exhaling cactus arms as we offer it out. And let's do that 8 times. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Inhaling up. Exhaling. Breathing in. Breathing out. And last 2 here. And last one. Breathing in. Breathing out and holding. The elbows move back, the hands come in. I'll invite you to ripple your fingers. You can keep your hands supple. From here, bringing hands to hips. We'll steer Warrior One hips into Warrior Two hips. As we steer the hips sideways, we can kick the back foot in, narrow the stance. And then finding one long arm, looking out past those front fingers with a steady yet relaxed gaze. I'll invite you to set an intention for your practice. And looking towards that intention. Lots of different intentions. It can be just do more yoga. From here, painting rainbows, straightening the front leg without locking knee, inhaling. Exhaling back to Warrior Two. 8 times. Breathing in. And breathing out. Inhale it up. Exhale. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale. And exhale with the breath. And let's do one more and we'll hold that reverse warrior. Reaching up higher, reaching down further. Finding more space between each rib with every breath. Breathing into that space. Mimicking your ribs with your fingers as you spread those fingers wide. Finding more space in your hand. Could you spread those fingers wider? Turning our reverse warrior back into Warrior Two. Now finding a rainbow warrior, a clasp of the fingers behind the back. Take your time. Shoulder blades back and down, open heart, open throat. Keeping that initially as you take a deep dive inside the front leg. Once you're in your forward fold, letting the neck relax, letting the head be heavy, and then letting those shoulders slide off the ribs and down towards the floor as you round the spine. As we hold this reverse warrior, I'll invite you to add a little shimmy, a little shake, inviting any tension in your body to drain down into the earth. Before we come up, I'll invite a strong tuck of the chin, feeling a stretch in the back of your neck. Keeping that tuck, we'll bring it on up. Now finding your Warrior Two arms, one long arm. From here, I'll invite you to windmill those arms as you come back to your low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. Take your time. Let's work a short interlude here. Coming forward to plank pose and holding the plank. Feeling that connection between head, hips, and heels. Connecting with that line of strength running from the crown of the head all the way back through those heels. Shoulders super, super, super engaged. Long, smooth breaths in. Equally long, smooth breaths out. Long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending your knees ever so slightly. Tail end of that breath, hugging navel to spine as you lift the hips high. Back to down dog. Second side, feet together, left leg high, high on the right toes. Either hanging out here or bringing left knee to left elbow, maybe give it a tap, and then back up. Now finding the twist, left to right, maybe tap it, maybe not, and then back up. Now bringing that knee center and holding for the inhalation. And then lots of core engagement as we step that foot front, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead. Warrior One. In Warrior One, bringing hands back to the hips, adjusting your stance if needed, either going longer or shorter or staying right where you are. You want to balance the stretch in your legs with the stability of the shape. With our hands on our hips, we can steer our hips front. Front hip back, back hip front. They're not going to get there, but you want to feel that energetic action as you bring the hips facing front. Thumbs find the shoulders, fingers relaxed. And then slow and steady as we circle those shoulders, really feeling the stretch. Great place to do this. One leg forward, one leg back. We've stabilized the low back. And when you're ready, taking those circles the other way. Now steering the heart front and center and letting those shoulders relax onto our ribs. Finding the unfamiliar clasp behind the back of the head, walking the fingers one over, and then pressing the head hard into the hands. Open heart, open throat. Keeping that width across heart and throat. We can stretch those hands high. From here with the breath, gathering up the flow as we straighten the front leg without locking the knee. Exhaling cactus arms, Warrior One legs. 8 times. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale. Exhale. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out with the breath. And last one here. Breathing in, breathing out, and holding Warrior One legs with cactus arms. The elbows move back, the hands come with. I'll invite you to ripple your fingers as you keep your hands separate. Now turning Warrior One hips into Warrior Two hips as hands come back to the hips. We can steer the hips sideways. You might kick that back foot in for a narrower stance. And then finding Warrior Two arms. Looking out past those front fingers with a steady yet relaxed gaze. I'll invite you to reaffirm that intention and looking towards that intention. From here, painting rainbows, straightening the front leg without locking the knee, inhaling. Exhaling Warrior Two, 8 times. And last 2. And this last one, I'll invite you to hold that reverse warrior, reaching up higher, reaching down further, finding more space between each rib with every breath. Mimicking your ribs with your fingers as you spread those fingers wide. Finding more space in your hands. Could you spread those fingers wider? Turning the reverse warrior back into Warrior Two. Now finding your rainbow warrior, finding that unfamiliar clasp of the fingers behind the back. Shoulder blades back and down onto the ribs, open heart, open throat. Keeping that, leading with the heart as we find a forward fold. And once you're in the forward fold, the spine will round, relaxed neck, heavy head, and then letting those shoulders melt off the ribs and down towards the floor. As we hold the rainbow warrior, I'll invite you to add some swing, some sway, a little movement within the shape, inviting any tension in your body to drain down into the earth. So stay in the forward fold. Strong tuck of the chin, stretching out the back of your neck. Keeping that strong tuck, now coming on up.
Lifting the head tall to the crown, back to your warrior two. Looking out past those front fingers with a mixture of effort and ease. From here, a big windmill of the arms as we stretch out our shoulders, finding low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog, as you will. Take your time. Welcome, William. Welcome, Sabrina. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending your knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher. And then looking between the hands and either stepping or jumping at front. Take a breath to create length when you arrive, arcing the back. On the exhale, arching the spine as you fold again, strong tuck of the chin. Inhaling, finding your chair, neutral spine, knees over toes. Exhaling, taking your chair lower. Inhaling, rising on up, open heart, open throat. On the exhale, finding your neutral spine, hands by your side. I'll ask you to face camera, Kathy. Hands find the heart. A light press of your thumb against your sternum as you line up each finger. A soft tuck of the chin, watching as your breath flows in. And watching as your breath flows out. Lifting the chin tall through the crown, I'll ask you to roll your hands over as we bring our hands by our side. I'll ask you to go sideways, Kathy, either keeping the feet hip width apart or getting them there. Hands find the back of the hips, the fingers face down. And then circling those hips. Now taking those hip circles the other way. Now bringing those hips center. Just pretend we have an extra set of hands, keeping our hips just as they are, as we find our cross-shoulder hug. Circling our shoulders. And try to keep the hips steady though. So it's just the shoulders. And then taking those shoulders the other way. Back to center, switching the cross of the arms and going back that first direction. Okay, try to keep the hips just as they are. And then taking those shoulders the other way. Now back to center, arms in the air like you either do or don't care. Hips go one way, shoulders go the other. And then taking those circles the other way. Coming back to center, hands by our side. I'll ask you to face camera, Kathy, as you narrow your stance, feet closer together. From here, hands find the hips. Let's find a tree pose. As we balance on our right foot, we find a kickstand with the left. Either keeping your kickstand or foot finds the calf. Either keeping the calf or reaching down to catch the ankle to place the foot onto the thigh. Once we have this foot position, hands come back to the hips. We can use that left hand to open up that left thigh a little bit. Left hand finds the heart. Right hand joins. Hard hands become cactus arms. Cactus arms stretch high to the sky, and we can press the palms together as we engage our triceps. Spinning the palms out, hands come back to the hips. Swinging that right thigh front, finding our flamingo as we balance on the right foot. Taking a little bow to the knee as we gather energy in our belly without dropping the thigh, lengthening through that leg. Could you lift that thigh a little higher?
Now flexing the foot as we land across step. Arms out to the side and then overhead. Inhaling. On the exhale, finding a forward fold. Feel free to raise the floor with a brick. Can you reach a brick? As we hold the forward fold, relax neck, heavy head, letting those shoulders slide down towards the floor. As we hold the cross-legged forward fold, circling those hips, any amount. And then taking those hip circles the other way. Now bringing hips center, solidly grounding down through your feet, setting your neutral spine as we inhale, hands to hips. Exhale and hold. And then hinging at the hips, rising on up. And then on crossing the legs. I'm going to invite you to keep it loose. Real bodies have movement. And then back to center. I'll invite you to narrow your stance as we move towards our tree on the second side. Balancing on our left foot as we find a kickstand with the right. We could stay right here. We could always come back here. Otherwise,
Yeah, that's right.
foot finds the calf. We could stay right here or reaching down to catch the foot and bringing it onto the thigh. You can use that right hand to open up that right thigh. Right hand finds the heart. Left hand joins. Hard hands become cactus arms. And then spinning the palms in, stretching those hands high, and then pressing the palms together as we engage our triceps. Nice. What a beautiful tree. Real trees move, just so you know.
Oh, yeah.
The tree that doesn't move, I won't say the F word. Okay, I will. It's not the F word you think. Trees that don't move fall down. We don't want to fall down. High hands come back to the hips. We can swing that thigh front as we find our flamingo, balancing on one foot. Now taking a little bow to the knee as you gather energy in your belly without dropping the thigh, lengthening through the leg. We can point those toes. Try not to lean back at all. You want to lean forward. Could you lift that thigh a little higher? Now flexing the foot as you land across step. Once 2 feet are down, arms out to the side, and then overhead. And then leading with the heart as you find your forward fold. Now feel free to grab that brick if your hands don't easily reach the floor. As we hold the forward fold, relax neck, heavy, heavy head, letting those shoulders melt off the ribs and down towards the floor. As we hold the cross-legged forward fold, any amount, circling those hips, inviting in more flow, more prana. And then taking those circles the other way. Now coming back center, inhaling hands to hips as we set our neutral spine. Exhale and hold. And then keeping neutral spine, rising on up. Uncrossing the legs and keeping it loose. So we're going to get onto our backs. I'll suggest we do it by first jumping our feet wide, wide, wide. Hands find the hips. We're going to angle the toes out. And we're going to rock it into a half squat. Elbows find the inner thighs. We can press the palms together as we keep rocking that squat from side to side. Either keeping your half squat or dropping it down as you find your full squat.
I think I dropped a little fast.
You dropped too fast?
No, I mean, I don't feel that I dropped too fast. I realize I did drop too fast.
Okay.
I mean, for the audience.
For your audience. And from here, bringing the hands behind, walking the hands back as you land yourself lightly. I'll ask you to go sideways, Kathy. for a long, slow roll down onto your back. Finding the top of your mat so your head has something soft to land on. You might even go a little more towards the front of the mat. Just want to make sure your head's on the mat. Starting from tall spine, finding C-spine, tucking tail and chin. Slowly rolling yourself down, laying each vertebrae down as if you're laying pearls onto a cushion. When you get down, full body stretch, long arms, long legs. And then I'll invite you to stretch that stretch from side to side, lengthening through one leg and one arm and then the other. Like you're waking up in the morning from a great night of sleep. So it's back and forth like this guy. Maybe make it bigger for the audience here. Yeah, really stretching it out. Like a bear waking up from his or her winter nap. From here, let's just do a little bit of core work here. Sweeping arms to a T, the palms face down. Pressing your back strongly into the mat as you find your tabletop legs. And then 2 long legs up to the sky. Keep pressing your back into the mat as you circle those legs. And then taking those leg circles the other way. Keep pressing your back strongly into the mat. Keep pressing your back into the mat as you point the toes and slowly lower those legs down, keeping the legs long. Having said that, feel free to bend the knee. Knees at any point. Make sure your back wants to do this. Pressing your back into the mat engages your core. The lower you go, the slower you go. Keep pointing those toes. Keep pressing your back into the mat. And you can bend the knees if you have to, as you ground down through the feet. From here, I'll invite you to bring, keeping the knees bent, it's better for your back. I'll invite you to bring fingers on either side of the navel for a big breath in through the nose. Let it sigh out through the mouth. Big breath in through the nose. Letting it slip out through pursed lips. And then breathing in and out through the nose. From here, now lengthening through one leg. Lengthening through the other. Arms out to the side, the palms face up. Scooting the head back as you flatten your shoulders. Finding Arshavasana. As we hold Shavasana, feeling the front plane of your body falling into the back plane. Letting both planes of the body fall into the floor. At home, feeling free to stay in your Shavasana as long as you'd like. Some folks say a minimum of 20 minutes. For the purposes of this room, I'm going to ring these yoga bells 3 times. I'll invite you to move your mind before you move your body. Bring your attention back to your breath, watching as it flows in and out. Like watching a river as that river flows by. Or watching boats on the bay. Or watching clouds drift by in the sky. From this place of watching your breath, shaping your breath with a long, slow breath in, followed by an even longer, slower breath out. Finding a more easeful breath with longer, slower exhalations. Now pressing your back into the mat to support the action of the legs. As you draw one knee in, the other knee follows. Hands cap the knees. I'll invite you to use, to massage your low belly with your thighs as you gently lift and lower the low back and hips. Front to back, side to side, little circles, whatever feels right and good for you. Intuitive movement as you connect with your innate sense of well-being. Keeping the knees close in, keeping the neck relaxed as you reach back with a hand to lift and tuck the chin. Chin stays tucked. The hand comes back to the knee or the shin. So 2 hands, 2 knees, 2 hands, 2 shins. You would also catch the back of the thighs. Starting to rock yourself forward to back, back to front, massaging your spine. And then a little core engagement. A little momentum as we rock on up to find a seat. As we sit, grounded down through 2 sits bones. Hands find the knees. Pulling back with the hands to settle the shoulders. Pressing into the sits bones to lift the kidneys in and up. Long through all sides of the neck with a soft tuck of the chin. I'll invite you to bring one hand onto the heart, the other hand on top. Ending our practice listening and feeling as our breath flows in and out. From this place of breath awareness, I invite you to bow as you thank yourself for practicing yoga. And as we offer our practice out to each other, you remember the hand gesture, Kathy? So it's up overhead. The fingers are like a little basket. So it looks like that. You can see the triangles. So we're offering our practice out to each other. And then we're going to separate the hands. And to the world, the light within us honors and respects the light within you. And in this light, we are one. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Kathy, for practicing with me.
Thank you, Mark, for leading our practice. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. And namaste. Have a nice day.
Have a nice